Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So now that we are at the halfway point of the NHL season, I thought I would do my halfway point NHL awards. The season ended today. What would my awards ballots be for the 7 major awards? So yeah, let's get into it. Let's dive into it. Let's not waste any time. Get right into the words. And up first, we are going to be starting out with the Jack Adams, the Coach of the Year. And right now, I have Dean Evason winning Coach of the Year. That might be a pretty controversial pick, considering the fact that the Columbus Blue Jackets are only on pace for like 86 points. But right now, they are in a playoff spot, believe it or not. And considering this team was across the board expected to be a bottom 3 team in the NHL after what they did this offseason in terms of trading Patrick Laine, obviously the tragic passing of Johnny Gaudreau, the way that he has been able to rally this team could have easily just punted on the season. That has not happened, and he has coached amazing. You look at that first line, Marchenko, Monahan, whoever they've inserted as that third forward, has been one of the best lines in the entire NHL. Zach Werenski's having a career year. We're going to get into him in the Norris stocks. And the goaltending has been shit, but despite that, they are 18, 17, and 2, an absolutely insane job. In second place, I think it is a two-man race. The season ended today. Spencer Carberry, I 1000% understand if you have Spencer Carberry as your Jack Adams pick, considering Washington made a bunch of moves this offseason, but still were only predicted to be like a fringe wildcard team. He's been awesome. He's absolutely insane. And even once Ovechkin went down, they were still fantastic as a team. They're 1A, 1B. I understand if you have Carberry. I personally go with Dean Evason just because both the on ice and off ice, what they have dealt with, the fact they're able to overcome that. Ryan Huska, also far exceeding expectations. I thought the Flames were going to be absolute garbage. They've been a very, very well team in the Eastern Conference. They'd safely be in a playoff spot right now, but because they're in the West, I don't know if they might be in a spot after last night. But yeah, he's been awesome with not a ton of talent. They're on pace for like 92, 93 points. Bruce Cassidy, Vegas was expected to be a playoff team. Right now, they're the President's Trophy team. That offense, even though we thought that they lacked severe winger depth and just the overall inconsistencies with their injuries, they have the third or fourth best offense. They have the fourth best offense in terms of goals per game at 3.55. And then Scott Arniel, we're going to get into why I think the Jets are more so of a good team. I think it is more so the goalie. Some people are going to have Arniel within the top 3. He's doing a great job. As a result, he's number 5. But the special teams have been very good. Everybody is having like a career year on Winnipeg. He's done a great job, but I don't quite have him top 4. Next up for Rookie of the Year, the Calder Trophy, I have the 2 Boston University kids in the top 2 spots. I got Lane Hutson number 1. If the season ended today, I think especially after Monday night's performance, 3 points against the Canucks, including the assist on the game winner, he's pretty clearly the Calder pick, considering the fact that he has 30 points in 40 games. And in his last 19 games, he has 19 points, has fully assumed that role as the number 1 defenseman on the Montreal Canadiens ahead of Mike Matheson. Has there been some defensive lapses? Is his overall defensive numbers not very good? Yes, but he is a rookie defenseman. I didn't expect him to be Jacob Slavin right out of the gate. He's been awesome. He's been a legit low-end number 1 offensive defenseman. As a result, he gets the first spot. Macklin Celebrini, if he didn't miss 12 games, if he played every single game, he'd arguably be the Calder pick right now, but he only has 31 games played out of the Sharks' 43 thus far. He has 28 points. He has been a low-end number 1 center for the San Jose Sharks, and especially his goal scoring has been really impressive. He's on pace for 34 goals, and he's only shooting 12%. That bodes really well for his future. If he's doing this in his rookie year, he can definitely be a consistent 40-goal guy the rest of his career for the most part. So yeah, he's been awesome. By the end of the season, it could be a debate between him and Lane Hutson, but I think Lane Hutson being healthy for every single game, and again, the last 19 games being point per game, right now, season ended today, he's my Calder pick. Dustin Wolf checks in at number 3. He has a 914 right now. They should be playing him more. For some reason, him and Dan Vladar are like an equal split right now, despite Vladar having an 888, Dustin Wolf having a 914. He's 13th in the entire NHL in goals saved above expected at 7.5. He's been a legit, solid, above average starting goalie in the NHL, even though the games he's been the 1A, more so a 1A to a 1B. But yeah, he's down the stretch, hopefully going to play even more. He's the main reason why Calgary is in a playoff race right now, in my opinion. And as a result, he gets the number 3 spot. Mitchkov falls to number 4. went a little bit cold the last month or so. 2 points, 1 goal, 1 assist in his last 12 games. And especially with Michkov, it's basically all about the offense. He's not very good defensively. Still has 29 and 39 on the season. He's going to be in the mix come the end of the season to be a finalist for sure. But at this point, I'm not sure he's going to be able to catch like Elaine Hudson or Macklin Celebrini in terms of actually winning this thing. And then a little bit biased pick at 5th, Max Saplakov. Stankoven's been absolutely cold, 4 points in 22 games. Gautier's playing better, but I didn't quite put him at 5th. I went with Max Saplakov. Around a half point per game, a physical guy, defensively solid, needs to stop taking stupid penalties. But yeah, I got him at 5th. The Norris. Still sticking by Quinn Hughes. I think that this is razor close, especially with Quinn Hughes missing 4 games, but thankfully he came back Monday night against the Montreal Canadiens. Quinn Hughes, 44 points in 35 games. I'm going to talk more so, spoiler alert, he's somewhere on the Hart ballot, so I'm going to dive into his underlying metrics when he's on the ice versus off the ice, but he has been dominant in terms of his two-way play this year. Cale Makar, since I made a video like a month and a half ago saying that it wasn't that close of a race, it's definitely got closer in part because of the Hughes injury, but Cale Makar has also been amazing of late. Arguably is going to be sniffing 100 points. Not arguably, he's probably going to be sniffing nearly 100 points this season. Has been solid to good defensively. Zach Werenski checks in at number 3. Not a distant number 3. He's also in the mix because he has been so good. 42 points or 46 points in 41 games right now, on pace for 92. I mentioned Monahan, Marchenko playing so good, but it is definitely Zach Werenski that has been by far the best player on the team, the number 1 driver of offense. He's been awesome. And as a result, he is the 3rd best right now. Definitely solidifying himself as a top 10 defenseman in the entire NHL. Josh Morrissey, more of the same that we've seen from the last 2 seasons, basically from him, was on pace for, he had 38 points in 41 games, so 76-point pace to tie his career high in 2023. Did get hurt last night, so again, this is the season ended today. Not sure the severity of that injury right now, but he's yet again having another top 7, top 6 defenseman season in the NHL. And then Victor Hedman. I got Hedman at number 5. He's been far better defensively than the prior 2 years where it looked like he kind of fell off. And offensively, 29 points in 36 games. Some other guys that I consider for this was Adam Fox, but Lindgren has really dragged him down. As a result, his results aren't that good. And Dolly, well, still very good, but not as good as compared to prior years. And the Rangers just stink. I didn't feel right putting him. And Dahlin missed 8 games, but he definitely would probably be on this over a Victor Hedman if he was fully healthy. But he missed 8 games, and the Sabres kind of screwed him by going on that long losing drought. Next up, not losing drought, winning drought. Gregory, Chris Patrick, pretty easily for the Washington Capitals. Previous videos and posts, I've said that it's a little bit confusing. I don't know how they're going to do it when they actually vote on this award, considering Brian McClellan was the general manager up until July 8th. I just considered all of BMAC stuff, also Chris Patrick's, because he was the assistant general manager during that. But yeah, hit an absolute home run on the Logan Thompson and Jacob Chikrin trades. The PLD deal is looking pretty good, looking like a 60-point, very good defensive second-line center. And then also Mangiapane, Matt Roy, solid ads. And as a result, Washington went from a fringe playoff team with a minus 37 goal differential to now being one of the best teams in the entire NHL. I think he's pretty easily the pick right now. Julien Brisebois made some big moves this offseason in terms of letting Stamkos walk, bringing in Jake Gensel. Massive win for only $1 million per year more. That's awesome. On top of getting Ryan McDonagh back, it only cost him a 2nd-round pick, but he also got a 4th-round pick back for that ideal top pair defensive defenseman, not lighting it up offensively. But the Tampa Bay Lightning don't need more offensive firepower. And then trading Sergachev, who has been very good for the Utah Hockey Club, but getting off his $8.5 million cap hit so you could fit everybody. You could fit Ryan McDonagh, basically, in getting a 2nd-round pick, Connor Geeky, and JJ Mosier. I liked that deal a lot. So yeah, not a ton of moves compared to like a Chris Patrick, but he hit on every single move for the most part. In my opinion, Tom Fitzgerald, same thing, made a couple big moves in terms of restructuring his defense core. Brendan Dillon, Brett Pesce, bringing in Jonathan Kovacevic, on top of the big goaltending acquisition in Jacob Markstrom, who's safely been a top 10 goalie this season. Eric Tulsky, more so minor moves when looking at Sean Walker, Shane Gothisbehere, amazing deal. Jack Roslovic had a really good start goal scoring wise. Eric Robinson has been dirt cheap and very, very good. On top of his extensions were very good this summer. Martin Necas, 2 years at $6.5 million, playing like a top 25 player. Definitely in the first 20, 25 games was playing like a top 5 player. On top of Seth Jarvis, 8 years, $7.4 million, locking him up long term. That's going to be a very good deal. And then lastly, I got Brad Treliving. Stolarz, 2 years, $2.5 million, was playing like a a Vezina candidate to start the season, then got hurt, unfortunately. And although I keep on reiterating, I don't love the term of the OEL and Tanev deals, this year, them making a combined $8 million to be very effective top four defensemen. Thumbs up to Brad Treliving, doing a good job. Had a very good offseason this year for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Next up, we got the Selke. I'm not going to bore you with like the defensive stats here. Sam Reinhart, I think, is pretty easily the pick right now. Sorelli's been awesome. Kopitar's been awesome. Stahl doesn't play a ton, but defensively every single year, he's absolutely amazing. And Barkov missed like 10 games. You could argue per game basis, he's been the best defensive forward in the NHL. He's definitely going to be in the mix. He's probably going to win it at the end and pass to Sam Reinhart and Sorelli. But yeah, this is how the season ended today. How I would have it, I'd still predict Barkov to probably win it. The Vezina Trophy, looking like one of the most boring Vezina trophies in like NHL history. I'm just going to be honest, in part because Hellebuck's been so good, in part because the other contenders that we thought have not been so good. Philip Gustafsson checks in at number 2. He has a .922 save percentage with 18 goals saved above expected. Dostal came out of the gates firing and still has been solid even after that first 15-game stretch. He has 18.8 goals saved above expected, a .913 save percentage on that bad of an Anaheim Ducks team. Blackwood, since he was very good in San Jose underlying numbers. The regular numbers weren't amazing because, again, he was in San Jose. He was facing a shit ton of high danger and just overall shots. He has a .938 in Colorado since he got there and still a .917 overall. And then lastly, Logan Thompson. He hasn't played a ton. He's only played 20 games, but in those 20 games, he has a 914 on top of going 16-2-2. Insane record whenever he plays. This team seems to win out of goalie stats are more so of a team stat. But yeah, I think rightfully so. He deserves a spot on the Vezina ballot. And then lastly, the Big Daddy. We got Connor Hellebuck still in first. I know since I made that Connor Hellebuck video, he had kind of 2 stinkers, but then he played good last night. I'm still going with Connor Hellebuck. I think in a year where we have seen so many teams struggle with goaltending, the fact that he has been far and away the best goaltender in the entire NHL gives me the nod for him. He has a .926. He has 25.7 goals saved above expected, a 2.09 goals against. He's on pace for a Carey Price. You go watch the video. That video didn't do absolute numbers, so I'm sure you guys didn't see it. But when you compare what the league average goaltending is this season to like 2015, although Carey Price had a .933, it's comparable. It is definitely comparable what he's doing. Carey Price definitely had a worse supporting cast than Connor Hellebuck, but the Winnipeg Jets are on a higher pace. All that basically just summarizing the video I made a couple days ago. I think that he is my pick. Again, just so valuable to his team. I know his team has other studs, but he is clearly the best player. Some of these other guys we're talking about have other players that are absolutely bowling out. Connor Hellebuck is my Hart pick if the season ended today. Leon Draisaitl at number 2, 29 goals, 30 assists, 59 points in 40 games, basically on pace for like 60 and 60. That would be insane. On top of being very good defensively in prior years, I have criticized Draisaitl for not really giving a shit defensively. He's stepped up in a massive way, and he's just straight up playing better than Connor McDavid at this point. Without a doubt, Connor McDavid's still the best player in the league, but I have Draisaitl in second. Nikita Kucherov, he's missed 2 games, and on top of Tampa also only playing 38 games compared to most teams like 41, 42 at this point. His stats don't really pop off in terms of total points, but he has 56 points in 36 games right now, on pace for around, if he played 82 games, like 127, 128. And although other guys are balling out on Tampa, he is still by far the most valuable player on Tampa, drives a lot of that offense, especially on that power play. Nathan MacKinnon checks in at 4th. Probably going to win the Art Ross, 66 points in 41 games right now. Don't have him quite as high because his defensive numbers have fallen off a decent amount this year. On top of Mikko Rantanen, not playing as good as MacKinnon, but on the same level, definitely a 1A, 1B this season compared to last year. MacKinnon just ran with it. And he also has Cale Makar, who's been awesome. Again, not trying to deter from the season that he's having, but in terms of overall team value, I would slot him in at number 4 here. But again, 2 through 4 are pretty interchangeable. I could definitely hear arguments. And then I got Quinn Hughes at number 5. The underlying numbers that I was referencing before. When he is on the ice at 5-on-5, the Canucks have a 56.9% expected goals percentage. When he's off the ice, it falls to 42.1%. They are a just straight up bad team without Quinn Hughes. And you look at all the turmoil and injuries that they have had to deal with this season, with Demko being hurt, Philip Hronik being hurt, Brock Besser was hurt for a little bit, and Pettersson is Pedersen and Miller have something going on. Miller stepped away for like 6 to 7 games. The fact that although they are only in a playoff spot, or they're just barely in the missing the playoffs right now because of a lot of loser points, a lot of that is carried by Quinn Hughes. The fact that they're even afloat right now, if they didn't have a player to his caliber, they would probably be hovering around 500 in terms of points percentage. Instead, they're at like 57, 58%, and probably going to make the playoffs yet again. And even when Quinn Hughes missed his 4 games, they went 1-4-1. Their losses to Nashville, Calgary, and Seattle. Their only win was also against Seattle. So they were just absolute shit without him. And as a result, I have him 5th on the ballot. Kaprizov has missed 7 games at this point. That is a massive amount to miss, as well as McDavid. Yeah, just didn't put him. Jack Eichel is definitely the most valuable player on Vegas and has been extremely valuable, but he doesn't quite pop, especially his goal numbers have been a little bit underwhelming. I'm trying to think of anybody else. You can argue Cale Makar or Mikko Rantanen should be on this. I would hear you out on that, but I just think Nathan McKinnon has still been the best player for Colorado this season. And yeah, I think Mitch Marner's been great, but a serious Hart threat, no. I think that's really it. I think that's the potential contenders that I win over. It's going to be a little bit of an unorthodox pick by Connor Hellebuyck, but again, I just think that he's dominated the goaltending position so much this year compared to we have like a handful of forwards that have been great. You could argue Hughes and Makar on the same level, as well as Zach Werenski, you could argue should be on the Hart ballot. The fact that we have one goaltender that has been so dominant, as a result, I have him winning my Hart. So yeah, here's to go through it. Adams, Calder, Norris, Gregory, Selke, Vezina in the Hart. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this? Which picks am I absolutely insane on? Which ones do you agree on? What are your picks at this point? If the season ended today, again, I'm not projecting the rest of the way, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.